this.
You gonna spit up on me, Atrocitus?
Irritating female.
You know who else does that? Babies.
You can wear a red ring.
Red jewelry's kind of for old ladies.
Look me at your peril. You appear feeble.
I punch above my weight.
Earth-Zero turn.
Justice requires order.
Looks more like aggression.
Tease some of them in the trailer with, obviously, you got Batman and Superman and going at each other. But tell us, this game, let's talk.
Got another clash here.
You're just like me.
I'm nothing like you.
It's a neat mechanic.
Together with our hellish hate, we'll burn you all! That is your fate!
We get to see Atrocitus spew rage all over Metropolis now with his victory. And again, just like every other fight, you're going to see both characters get new gear. Now this is a cool one. So this is the Metropolis environment. We're in the Asa Club's bar, and we want to take a second again to introduce one of our new characters. That's Red Lantern Atrocitus.
Yep.
They're very different than the Green Lanterns. They're driven by rage and anger. So you're going to see that reflected in a lot of his moves. He can actually summon blood. You'll see him do it from the ground. He breathes fire. He can create this blood NATO, which is a lot of fun. Not only that, he can also summon help from another Red Lantern, the evil cat Dexstar. That's a fan favorite. I love Dexstar. Can shoot projectiles. He can help you with creating this blood shield for defense. He can attack on command. So him and Atrocitus together are a pretty good match for Superman. So they're going to get into it. And this is fun for MK fans. Take a look at the guy at the bar. Much like Blanche from MKX.
Nice.
He can be used in this fight. And again, the environments are a huge part of this game. So we're going to see Superman once again take Atrocitus upstairs. Got another clash here.
You're just like me.
I'm nothing like you.
It's a neat mechanic because instead of just doing a regular combo breaker, the defender was successful there, you're actually regenerating health. So there is a really good wager system. You see Dexstar comes in for the assist, and we get to see Atrocitus spew rage all over Metropolis now with his victory. And again, just like every other fight, you're going to see both characters get new gear. Now this is a cool one. You see you got the Kryptonian crown for Superman. Check out the Curse of Rage. Look in the box. You see 3% damage to thrown environmental interactions. So it's not just about buffing your character's base stats and making them a better fighter. You're actually impacting all of the fighting mechanics throughout the game. Sure. So if environmental attacks are a big part of how you fight, this is a great piece of gear for you. And once again, we're sort of at, day one level of adding that fresh piece of gear. But once again, over time, it's going to be much more dramatic. So you can see here, you got Superman in the black and silver with the red sun logo on his chest.
That's awesome.
Super cool. I mean, Atrocitus looks like a demon. I mean, it's crazy. And it's cool, actually, when he brings Dexstar back in the fight, check him out, because he actually geared up as well. He's all horned out and thorny, and yeah, he's looking like a total badass. It's great. So you can see as they fight, not only are they interacting with the environment, but damage is being done all around them. Really want to get that feel. And then, of course, we got crazy new supers like this right here. That's just beautiful. I mean, we're really trying to make this as epic and cinematic as possible. We're really trying to go over the top with this game. This is my favorite transition in the game right now. Just the sound effects. If you've ever fallen down on the train, you know it's very realistic. So we're back in the bar, and that, of course, is where this happens. This is insanity.
Together with our hellish hate, we'll burn you all. That is your fate.
And he's okay.
Somehow Superman just gets right back
Still
up.
all right.
He was rammed by a bull, but he still takes the fight. That's our final fight. Superman takes this one, and you'll notice that even
Which part of you hurts the worst?
For the Red Lantern! Together with our hellish hate, we'll burn you all! That is your fate! Supergirl wins.
Now don't you feel silly?
Be heard on Twitter and social media.
yeah, and through the mailbox and shouting outside your house, I'm sure, and everything.
Yeah.
We're having a look at some gameplay right here. Gorilla Grodd already going at it.
Yes, two of the new additions to our roster. Gorilla Grodd, who's the villain of the Flash, and ATROCITUS, who was kind of like a big, angry, bloody Red Lantern, kind of
Right.
almost like the opposite of Green Lantern. Who's ATROCITUS is kind of like an anti-hero, but he's got a lot of anger issues. And but they're so far two of our big brawler characters. Grodd's kind of interesting in that he has these kind of big, gorilla ape moves, but he also has kind of telekinetic moves, which is like kind of like a Kenshi or an Ermac or something like that. It's a great combination of the two.
We'll talk about the gear system in a second, but how is the fighting developed? Is it very much similar to Injustice, the first one we played 2 years ago?
The groundwork is Injustice. I mean, we're with every game we try to add layers for players to kind of learn and master. Like a lot of these. The fighting game tournaments, the hardcore guys, we're really into the whole esports thing. We've been doing with Mortal Kombat X and the first Injustice. We've been participating pretty heavily into the tournament scene, and so we've added a number of kind of like lower level stuff that some players may never quite experience, but the hardcore guys who really want to dig deep can really devour.
And talk to us a little bit about the gear system. So how does this work? Is it just like unlocks? Is it purely aesthetic?
Sure. It's gear, and probably in the simplest of terms, I would describe gear as costume pieces that actually power up your character. So, when you finish a fight, we're going to have these drops where basically, and the victory screen also rewards you with this gear. And you have the choice of, equipping your character with that gear or not. And so there's a molding, so to speak, of as you keep getting gear, you keep, deciding if you want to use it, and, you want to focus on, offense or defense or enhance certain moves or unlock certain moves. Wise, it's your Grodd, it's your Superman, your Batman, your Aquaman, and that's really the kind of foundation of what we're building our main gameplay around.
Go for a bit.
I've got a question. Who is this rocket-powered cat that keeps flying in from Atrocitus?
He is also, Atrocitus is a Red Lantern. There's a whole spectrum of colors, and he is actually another Red Lantern. His name is Dexstar. It's part of the DC lore, and they're kind of they kind of work together. And so we incorporated him into the fighting. He shoots projectiles.
Oh yeah, look.
He does all these.
Oh man,
he's adorable.
He is.
And then, and we have a.
You're speaking to a good crowd here as well. Two of us are cat lovers.
Yeah, and so it's awesome. People who know the Atrocitus, kind of backstory and lore will really appreciate his cameo there.
How is the gear stuff going to play into what you were talking about earlier with esports? Are you going to lock that stuff out? Is it,
Yeah, well, certainly, with the gameplay changes are you're going to have a significantly more powerful version of Superman after you've been, gearing him up and leveling him up. So we will obviously have something to level things out for things like tournaments and whatnot, because you don't want to have, somebody coming in with a level 50 Superman against a level 1, Batman or something like that. But we certainly have plans to do like a more level playing field version.
Batman can be on equal footing with Superman here. Was it a strong suit, or was it like kind of a medicine he puts into Superman? I don't remember.
In the last game, we always had to answer the question of why would somebody like Batman or Harley Quinn or even compete with someone like Superman or Wonder Woman or Aquaman, and so we had this pill that basically kind of enhanced
it was a pill.
Yeah, exactly, and then enhanced the characters and let it be like an even fight.
What kind of comic book characters do you think makes the better fighting game character? Is it superheroes or supervillains? Who is more exciting to put into a fighting game character?
Well, it's both. It's the combination of the two. I think one of the things about DC is they have such a deep and interesting roster of villains. I think more than anybody. And so with these kind of classic iconic villains, mixing them with the heroes is what makes it so exciting.
Oh, Batman's getting reamed. Poor guy. But if it's according to the movies, he'll always win at the end.
Exactly.
That's what it taught to me. Okay, I guess it's another Red Lantern, the flying cat up there, or
yes, that is another Red Lantern. His name is Dexstar, and he kind of hangs out there, and you can make him, shoot projectiles or put a force field in front of ATROCITUS, and there's a lot of...
and he got eaten by... not quite. He got bitten a little bit.
So yeah, he works with... you can see that shield he puts in front of there. He can shoot projectiles at him, or he can actually attack there too. So that's kind of like his kind of special ability with ATROCITUS.
Okay, how are you gonna roll out this game? So how far along is this version that we're seeing here, and when?
Of gear that a new cowl for Batman, new utility belt, new boots for Superman, and they come with it. Power-ups for your characters, so you can do a little bit more damage on the environments, or your attack damage is a little bit more, or your defensive blocking damage is a little more, and tons of variables, and you're constantly getting them. You're constantly deciding which ones you want to use based on the kind of Batman that you want to craft. And so effectively it's you're making your Batman, I'm making my Batman. We might meet up online, and it's yours versus mine. That's awesome. And it's different. They look different too. So that's the customization and personalization is really what kind of sets this apart from certainly the last Injustice or any other fighting game.
Yeah, I've never heard of this before in a fighting game. It actually is one of those things where I never would have thought of it, but now that you mention it, it's I want that. Yeah, I want that in my fighting game. Yeah. And I mean, Injustice, we're seeing some great footage here. This game's looking real sharp. NetherRealm, known for high production values in general, and we've seen that with Mortal Kombat X, now we're seeing it with Injustice 2. So tell me a little bit about these two characters we're seeing here, and some of the pros and cons that they have.
Yeah, these are the two of the new characters that we've had here. ATROCITUS is basically, if you think of Green Lantern, except for he's a big monster, has hate, and he has a lot of blood. He's kind of a anti-hero version of Green Lantern, but a lot meaner. Yeah.
Bam!
Yeah. And he's with Gorilla Grodd, who's one of Flash's villains. And Gorilla Grodd is kind of he's a gorilla, and he's had all these crazy animal-like attacks, but he also has a high intellect. So he has telekinetic abilities. He can make you beat yourself up. He can levitate in the air and stuff. And so it's a great. I think they're two great additions to our roster.
One of the things I love about what you guys did with Injustice 1, which was a huge hit with me and my friends, we love that game. It's got such a great sense of humor. But it's still, I think we got, what are these called again? Ultimates?
The transitions, yeah.
Oh, the transitions.
He's knocking him into another arena with a whole new kind of palette of objects that you can use in the fight.
So good.
Yeah.
But one of the things I've always loved about Injustice is, it's not just Batman and Joker or whatever. It's you guys kind of get down in the weeds a little bit there on the DC IP, which I think is really smart.
Yeah. We
powers up your characters. So everyone in the game has thousands and thousands of boots, utility belts, cowls, capes, insignias, and when you finish playing the game, it's kind of like XP. You're getting a drops of gear, and then you get to actually apply them to your character, and they power your character up in different ways. Defense, your strength, your abilities that you use in the with your special moves and your health meter. And you are in a constant process of leveling up.
So now, does this carry on to online also? Will I be able to face Superman versus my Superman, where it's decked out differently?
Yeah, and what you said is really key. It's your Superman, your Batman, your Aquaman against somebody else's, and it's all personalized, and it is you literally customizing, molding your version of these characters that go up against somebody else's.
I love that idea because you see so often, there's certain characters who will be more popular than others, and you see a lot of mirror matches. But now, like you said, you can have your, maybe I'll focus on more offense type gear, versus maybe Swifter's defense type, gear.
Exactly.
Sounds great.
You notice here there's this big transition. You can throw your opponent into a new arena where there's a whole new palette of objects that you can actually use in the fight. That was, something that really resonated with the last Injustice, and we really wanted to bring it over. And you look at these characters again, with ATROCITUS. He's all about anger and hate and blood. So he has all these kind of blood moves. He can bring out, the
and flying cat.
Yeah. His name is Dexstar, and he's actually also a Red Lantern in the DC lore.
Wow.
And so ATROCITUS can bring him out, use him, and he actually aids in the battle of fight. Yeah, it's exciting. And Gorilla Grodd is all about big kind of primal moves mixed in with telekinetic moves. He's blasting them down back into the street arena where.
I was just going to say, and here we see the environmental interaction again.
Yeah, going busting through walls, bouncing off. You feel the power of these attacks.
Oh yeah, and we always describe it as like the battle of the gods. So Grodd here is his.
That's what I love seeing too. Just like these two brawlers beat the crap out of each other.
The variety of characters in this game is actually going to be even wider than the last one. So here's where we were talking about in terms of the gear. Like when you finish a round, you get that. And so it's a lot of kind of like this big collection mechanic going on.
Oh man, when is this coming out? I'm sorry, I'm like jumping to that, but I just want to play.
No, of course.
Unfortunately, we got to wait until 2017.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's going to be worth the wait. Like we were saying, there's bigger roster of characters. This whole gear stuff is going to be so exciting, and just another great option. There's always characters who didn't get in the roster,
of course,
and a bunch of angry people that characters didn't get into the game. So a lot of it is satisfying. Those people, wanted to see Brothers, wanted to see Super.
Yeah, comic book fans vocal when they are not listening.
And it's a great thing. I'd rather have people passionate about it, even if passion.
That's a nice polite way to put it.
Yeah. There are fans of just Injustice itself, like we were talking about earlier. The comic book Injustice has really taken off and very
great summary of the events leading up to the he's really
and you guys these beings with like ultimate power. Just
exactly. It's kind of like thinking of you have the power.
Yeah. So, are there any changes to like the combo system or like the mechanics? I'm sure you guys are still kind of tweaking that, of course.
Yeah, we're always
One of the things we were in Chicago, you're talking a lot about is how everyone's going to have a different Batman or a different Superman, right?
Introducing this game, we're really like saying, okay, here's a base version of Aquaman. Here's a base version of Superman, ATROCITUS, and bit different. Everybody's is going to look different, and that's what's so exciting about it, because they're going to actually have the most personalized. The personalization is what we're really adding to this game, as far as making your version. This thing called the multiverse, and so you can have